What's up, y'all, and welcome to another ShawnSetGO video. Today we're going to be talking about, well, the issue with patches and updates that need to happen in WoW. I mean, there's a number of them. I mean, my past video I was talking about, well, some of the people who were left behind with the War Within and people who may be struggling. So the differences between the likes and the dislikes crowd of the War Within. But I wanted to talk a bit more about the bugs and the issues, and not the bugs that came with the expansion that we're normally used to, the mobs we're used to, but actually literally the bugs. So just to begin, a lot of this has to do with differing areas in the game. I'm going to cover 3 specific sections to kind of limit it a bit, but also I felt like these were the ones that came up the most in the community, and I kind of wanted to group them together in a way that's like, here's an example that can kind of reach everybody in some sort of way. So the first one is going to be about Shadowlands. The second one is going to be about Azjul Nerub. And the third one is going to be the input lag issue. So if you're watching the video and you're enjoying the video, be sure to give it a like if you like this video, but also subscribe to the page. We're nearing 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean a lot to me if you did so. But let's just jump into it right ahead. So to begin, the first one I wanted to bring up, and this is going to be differing times because I really wanted to have these sort of in differing moments to kind of show sort of a lack of response and a lack of resolve in these issues. So the first one that happened was 21 days ago, where I saw that it got some traction. It says Blizzard seriously needs to fix the Shadowlands intro ASAP. If you make the mistake of taking a max level character to Shadowlands for the first time using the intro skip, it bugs out on you. That character is effectively locked out and any Shadowlands content until Blizzard fixes it. I hope to God this is on their high priority list because this is massively game breaking. First person says they did a lot to fix the bugs on pre-patch back in August. I'm holding out hope that sometime soon that they'll fix these issues. Yep, is BS, and I don't know they're going to fix the already locked out characters. Whilst we are at it, enable the Shadowlands skip too. Many might say that being unable to do Shadowlands content is more of a feature than a bug. That's savage. We love it though. This one says they have quests in Shadowlands marked as warband complete. If an account already has the stuff done, it should just be unlocked. They broke it in 11.0.5, tried to fix it, and it broke it worse. Here's to hoping they're still at it. I think there are enough bugs and relevant content that putting this anywhere near the middle of the priority list, let alone high on it, would be immensely stupid. I mean, I can agree with this comment to a degree. I feel like sometimes when it comes to old world content, it's like it has to take a back burner to current content, but we're not necessarily seeing it in current content as well as old content. So it's like, why isn't there proper divisions of teams handling the previous expansion content that a lot of people are doing outside of the main game content as well? You know, like why aren't these things being managed? Well, I mean, the big answer is just, well, that's just the way Blizzard is. But a lot of people would say, like, I think a lot of people, they jump to conclusions or jump to sides when I say this kind of stuff and say that like you're being too harsh or being unfair. They would have to increase the membership prices if they did so. Well, I looked at the next post. This is from 23 hours ago. It says, Blizzard fixed Shadowlands. Since the anniversary patch, possibly even before the faded NPC that allows alts to skip Shadowlands, story doesn't appear upon arriving Oribos via the skip from Org or Stormwind. Super annoying, as so many good transmog pieces come from Shadowlands, and all these new characters we've been leveling with Time Walking Anniversary can't get into new zones and collect any, as if any Shadowlands transmog wasn't annoying enough to get already. So the first person says, and Zadormi is bugged to get into Undercity on new characters. To fix it, I had to do Kalia Menethil's quest for Lordaeron to clear the goo. That worked for my DK. Now I can interact with Zadormi. So it's like all these alternative methods that people have to go through just to get things to properly work. And then let's see, hold on. Let's go to the next one. Will be fixed in the coming patch. So that's the one that came up. So I'm like, okay, let's take a look. Can't find next quest for Shadowlands campaign. I can't pick them up zone leveling campaign and quest for Shadowlands. I skipped them all. When I go to Oribos, I can't get any quests. I skipped them all and can't start getting quests in Shadowlands. There is no starting quest or skip after the Maw intro. We are aware of the issue. Characters who skip the Maw storyline in Shadowlands after accepting 9.0 campaign are not offered in the quest to begin the leveling campaign. A fix for this is planned in 11.0.7. Until this fix, characters who have not reached level 70 can choose Shadowlands campaign from Crowry as a work can choose level 70 can choose a campaign from Chromie as a workaround for this issue. Customer support does not have manual workarounds for this issue. Like, I mean, we can hold them to this promise and just be like, you know what, it's going to be fixed then. But like, this is kind of like basically saying anybody who's dealt with this, you're going to have to wait a little while longer. But this has been a problem for months now. I mean, this is the first Reddit issue that came up, but like, why aren't we addressing this more openly to fix these things more openly? It seems like we're giving them too much credit where credit isn't due. It won't help with selecting a covenant, etc. If you're waiting at Zareth Immortis outside of the summons, you can use the anniversary portal when it's on Shadowlands Day. There's a Zareth Immortis 1 there. If you could just want to do the Castle Nathra, you can take the Bastion portal from the Time Waste and fly with flight paths. But yeah, they need to fix it. Yeah, just so many people have had so much time with this being an issue that they have developed their own workarounds that even Blizzard doesn't mention here. And in their system, basically, they're not saying this is a workaround. They're saying basically don't have any characters that are over leveled in this area. It's like, well, why would we want to do this old war content then? Like, why would we pick Shadowlands over any other expansion then? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So that was the first one. The second one that came up was Azjol Nerub. This is 2 months ago. It says, with the start of the expansion, first season being about Nerubians, would have made sense to have Azjol Nerub on Kahet in the Mythic Plus pool. Now, you could consider this most to be an opinion, but you know, why not? You know, why not? The first comment, though, kind of like, I understand it a bit. It says, did Azjol Nerub like 15 times this week? No thanks. Yeah. This dungeon's really terrible. Like, every time I go into it, it's just a mess. No one really remembers how the dungeon plays out. It's also, frankly, too short and ill-suited for Modern Mythic Plus. The other one is too long and too scattered. It's such a fast dungeon, this person says. The longest part is the last boss because he just hides under the ground for unnecessarily long time. And this raised the question for me. I'm like, why? Like, what's the issue? What's been going on? It says, this post says, Blizz, can you tweak Azjol Nerub already? I'm writing this during a time walking dungeon because we're waiting for Anub'arak to return. I'm back. So where was I? Oh, yes. Can we talk about the tweak that maybe if you do enough damage, he doesn't burrow? It's back. It's really annoying. It's not challenging. We just wait and wait. Oh, there he is, finally dead. But yeah, can we have a boss that doesn't allow us to start a thread in a Reddit, please? Thank you. This is kind of like the recurring issues I'm talking about. This is multiple areas in which there are issues that are present for an extended period of time. This has been an issue for God knows when, but you have this 2 months ago and then a day ago. Like people reporting this issue openly. It's not so bad that he burrows, but the amount of time spent in the phase because enemies arrive slowly. It's very much still tuned for OG Wrath. The timing made sense for Wrath because players didn't stand around waiting for enemies. It took an actual effort to knock them out. Did it even work for OG Wrath? I never played it, but I did Wrath Classic, and the fight was bad then. I know players are better and with more optimized gears these days, though. In earlier middle days of Wrath, it was fine. Towards the later half of Wrath, it was kind of like the time walking version. Yeah, I would agree with this post. It was more like this. Like earlier on, people struggled with it more because people struggled to deal with both the ads and the constantly like rumbling. I think he like pierces up. So I think that's what people struggled with. But later on, it became more of just like this issue. So that was the second issue I found. The third issue that has come up, and like I guess everyone deals with this to a certain degree. So I know some have worse experience than others. Like I put this into an AI. I'm like what are some of the issues that, you know, self-caused? Usually it's like out-of-date add-ons, like your own network connectivity. But this has been reported so often that I feel like it's more than that. So the one thing I saw more than most of these posts was I don't even really want to play until the input lag issue is fixed. I can't believe this isn't the most talked about issue right now. The game feels like it's at 200 ms despite being at 22. For a game which usually prides itself on extremely responsive gameplay, this feels terrible. It is extra noticeable on BM Hunter for some reason, and even worse on melee classes. I will still raid log on my main, I guess. I don't want to let my guild down, but it's outside of this, I'm just done. Every frustrating glitch, slow spell feels like I am being disrespected by Blizz, who can't seem to care enough to fix this extremely obvious glaring issue. I thought my internet was just crapping out lately. Honestly, I felt the same way. I would look at my latency. I'm like, it's fine, and then I would queue some abilities and just lag, like just terrible lag, and it's in every zone of the game, even instanced content. And it's not necessarily when there's excessive mobs. It's not like when I have a ton of mobs in these situations. Sometimes it's just random, and it'll just spike and it'll be terrible. I've only noticed in an open world, no issues in instances. Yeah, see, I have the opposite issue. I asked in trade chat and the only replies that must be something on my end. I was considering uninstalling and reinstalling. The most frustrating thing as a caster is my spells delayed by a full second despite the game saying that I'm only on 20 ms. Hate how Blizzard has gutted how useful the latency meter is, as if people are going to feel the inability to queue spells and then act as if it's fine because the meter says 20 ms. Yeah, I don't feel like it's like lying to you per se, but I feel like it's inaccurate in the way that it reads. Like it's more of like a average estimation instead of a real-time reader. So it's like so the majority of the time, if it's reading good, it's not going to recognize those quick spikes quick enough to really have any accurate sort of reading that you can report. So, and when you have this amount of people reporting this and going, yes, this is real, this exists, then you know it's not just one or two things. You know it's not just add-ons per se. Though the overload of add-ons and the use of add-ons is, to me, an issue caused by Blizzard themselves. So I don't think you can say, oh yeah, add-ons are the issue per se. Something is seriously wrong with the server input. So this is an example here. So you can see the queuing of abilities. Let's see, like you can try to read so that you can see like the stutter stepping of the abilities when they're being cast. Like it's cast, and then it casts it finally. So it's like there's a bit of a delay there that's noticeable. You have to be looking at it directly, but it's definitely noticeable. So I'm not quite sure what it is, but since the War Within release, I have server problems with my global cooldowns in form of input delays, freezes, hiccups, which are illustrated here. It mainly manifests itself in fight, but is also noticeable in open world applications like mining, questing, or even flying, despite having 20 ms latency, world latency. They give their specs. I like, honestly, this wouldn't matter to me because WoW is not an intensive game at all, or shouldn't be in reality. I've seen many forum Reddit posts about it, but I can't find a solution yet after trying every single troubleshooting and including such and such. My system worked absolutely flawlessly and as intended, so it can only be a Blizzard problem after excluding every possible cause on my side. They said they changed something about WoW's backend to prepare it for the future updates and expansions, but something with responsiveness and global cooldown timing definitely got messed up in the process. It isn't an add-on or anything with our computers we can change. It's on their end, sadly. And so I don't want to say this guy is necessarily just justifying Blizzard's position. I want to be fair to someone who's like on the coding side of life, who understands this a little bit better, to say that I get that sometimes when you're patching code or you're adding additional content, something on that was previous could be now messed up. Somewhere in the line of the code, there's conflicts or issues. I don't think it's someone pressed the wrong button. I just think truly it's just like old content isn't as functional, or all forms of content that are in the game are going to be affected in different ways. So I do get that, but at the same time, the first post that I had shown was over a month ago, and then this post is from 2 weeks ago. So it's like without any sort of like during updates, like, hey, we're recognizing the issue. At least with this first one, even though it's eons old, like this has to have been going on with the Shadowlands issue. It had to have been going on since the War Within started, if I remember correctly. I think that's when I first saw the post about it. But with this issue, it's so detrimental to a mass amount of players like their gameplay experience. Then why isn't this being handled or at least announced more openly? And it seems like all we get in these cases is just kind of silence. And I think Blizzard wants you to think that it's your fault and that it's self-induced, or that the issue is too big of an issue for them to handle in a small patch. But I think it would make the difference in the world if we actually made these changes actively instead of waiting for massive patches for them to be messed up again, or even worse so. It's just kind of this fear to make things better instead of providing quality content throughout. It feels like for a live service game, we don't get live services. We kind of get automated services, and when things are kind of buggy or issue based, we don't go back and go like, hey, before we put something else out, let's fix what's currently here. It's let's let it ride, you know, like let it ride, like gambling, you know, like let it ride. Hopefully we don't lose any players. They'll still play the game, right? And then they kind of move on, and it just kind of goes as it were. But I wanted to show this last one. It says three days ago now. Has the input lag issue been fixed yet? Debating to re-download the game, but I just want to make sure they would actually fix the issue. It's been my biggest gripe with the game. I'm pretty sure that I know what you're talking about, and I'm pretty sure the answer is no. Define input lag. Like when you turn your camera. If you mean like if you're staying in the swirl lane and barely get out just before it goes off your screen, get hit, that is dependent on your latency to the server. That is something you just have to account for and get used to. These justifications, the copium is just skyrocketing, just absolutely insanely high. So what are my solutions? What are my proposed solutions to this? Honestly, I think there's needs to be better routes for people who are actively posting issues for these things to escalate and be put into these regular maintenances that we receive on a weekly basis. And if we're not really getting anything from these weekly maintenances, then other than an opening a vault, then like, why are we even doing weekly maintenances? Like what's the point? What's the point of these things? Are these issues too big? If they're too big, I'm sorry, but delay a patch. Delay a patch if it means fixing the previous patch, because we have to deal with crap patch after crap patch, and each one doesn't really improve after its initial release. Then why are we playing? Like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we standing for this? You know, like we must make it stand. No, but honestly, like that is the only way these type of things can be like fixed. These are issues that are just scattered, but you can find these across the board. You'll find a post that is presenting an issue from like a few days ago, then you'll find it a few weeks ago, then you'll find it a few months ago, and then you'll find this years ago. It's like, oh, okay, then maybe that's irrelevant then, but it's this almost the same exact thing in the same exact area of gameplay. So it's like, why still, you know, why still? Like, why not just fix these things? Why not just improve quality of life throughout the game? You know, make definition to the live service true, you know, that's all I'm saying. But anyways, that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Not to be negative or anything like that. I just hope that things like this can be fixed, because I do think quality of life is important in a live service game. But what are the issues that you're experiencing? Have I hit any of the issues that you've experienced in game? And what are some of the longest standing issues that you're still experiencing to this day? Post them in the comments. I would love to escalate this higher. You know, if and when I have the influence, I would love to kind of share these things, because that's what we do here. We like to discuss things and discuss the big issues, and also bring the negative things to light, but also celebrate the things that are great, you know, when they're here. So once that happens, I'll definitely do so. But until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.